They see my disability, I see my ability. Wow, what a powerful way to start. It really gets you thinking, doesn't it? It all just boils down to perspective, how one person can look at something and see weakness, while another sees incredible strength.
So today, we're going to dive into the story of the woman who said that, Muniba Mazari. Her journey is, well, it's nothing short of incredible. She faced something most of us can't even imagine and came out the other side with this powerful message about being, you guessed it, perfectly imperfect.
And at the very heart of her story is something we all deal with every single day: words. Think about it. Words have so much power. They can build you up, but they can also completely break you. They can heal your soul, or they can do damage that lasts a lifetime. And Muniba, well, she knows this better than almost anyone.
This is a story about how one woman's entire world was just shattered, and how she used words, of all things, to piece it back together, making it even stronger than it was before. Because sometimes life throws these moments at you that don't just change you, they completely remake you from the ground up.
So let's get into it. It all started with just one moment, one single instant that changed everything. An event so sudden and so violent, it completely broke her body. But, as we're about to see, it also forged an absolutely unbreakable spirit.
Okay, so here's the timeline. She gets married young, at just 18 years old. Only 2 years later, at age 20, she's in a devastating car accident. Her husband was driving, and he fell asleep at the wheel. Now, he managed to jump out of the car, saving himself, but Muniba, she was trapped inside. The result? Paralyzation. For life. Just like that. And when we talk about the physical toll, it's just staggering. I mean, her backbone wasn't just broken, it was crushed. Her entire right arm, the wrist, the shoulder, all of it fractured. Her rib cage was so badly damaged that it injured her lungs and her liver. She had to go through surgery after surgery, ending up with titanium in her back and arms. And after all that, she was completely bedridden for 2 solid years. Can you even imagine?
So there she is, lying in the sterile, white hospital room. And you have to believe the physical pain was immense. But what came next was a different kind of pain, an emotional despair that was just as brutal. One by one, doctors would come in, and with their words, they started to chip away at everything she thought she was.
The first blow, her passion. Muniba had always dreamed of being an artist. But the doctor comes in and tells her, flat out, because of how deformed your wrists and arm are now, you'll never hold a pen again. Just like that, her dream was gone.
The second blow came the very next day, her mobility. The next doctor tells her the spine injury is so severe, she is never, ever going to walk again. Period. Another huge piece of her life just erased.
And then came the third blow, the one that truly devastated her. The doctors told her that because of the damage, she would never be able to give birth to a child. And for her, this wasn't just bad news. It struck at the very core of her identity as a woman. She felt completely and utterly broken.
I mean, can you blame her? This was rock bottom. She just turned to her mom and asked that question that I think we all ask in our darkest moments. Why me? Why am I even alive? If she can't walk, can't paint, can't be a mother, what's the point?
But you know, it's often in that total darkness, that abyss of despair, that a little spark can ignite. Her mother told her that this wasn't the end, that God had a bigger plan for her, and something inside her just shifted. She decided that giving up was simply not an option. She was going to fight.
So what's the first thing she does? Lying there on that bed, tired of just staring at white hospital walls, she asks for some paints and a canvas. And right there, on what she literally thought was her deathbed, she painted. This wasn't just about making art. It was therapy. It was her first act of defiance. It was her voice when she felt like she didn't have one.
After those 2 long years, she's finally able to sit up in a wheelchair. And she makes a list of her biggest fears. And she decides she's going to conquer them, one by one. Step 1, her fear of divorce. So she takes control, and she sets her husband free, liberating herself. Step 2, her fear of never being a mother. So she adopts a beautiful baby boy. And step 3, her fear of facing the world, of seeing that pity in people's eyes. She decided to face it head on, appearing more and more in public, absolutely refusing to hide.
And it's through this incredible process, facing her fears head on, accepting who she was now, that she discovered this really powerful truth, a whole new philosophy that would become her message to the entire world.
Just let that sink in for a second.
This became her mantra. You know, we spend so much of our lives chasing this idea of perfection, but it's a race you can never win. She realized that her so-called imperfections, they're not flaws we should be hiding. They're actually the very things that make us human, that make us unique.
So she basically just throws out the old dictionary definition of perfection. For her, it has nothing to do with the flawless body or a problem-free life. No. True perfection, she says, is about empathy. It's about being able to make someone else smile. It's about feeling another person's pain and connecting with them through your own imperfections. Her greatest pain, literally, became her greatest strength. And this whole transformation gave her this amazing clarity about the true meaning of life. She started to see this huge difference between just existing and actually truly living.
Think about it like this. She says living the exact same day on repeat for 75 years, well, that's not a life. That's just a routine. A real life, she argues, is when you do something that changes someone else's world for the better. That is the moment you are truly alive.
So at the end of the day, what's the big takeaway? For all the fame and success she's found, she's crystal clear that real happiness doesn't come from any of that. It's not in money or awards. You know where it is? It's in gratitude. Just being grateful for the little things, grateful for the very breath you just took. Because the moment you start appreciating what you do have, you open the door to so much more.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty powerful question to ask ourselves. We all get one shot at this. One life. Muniba's message is simple and direct. Don't die before your death. Celebrate your life. So the real question for you, for me, for all of us, is, are you truly living yours?